Connecting your logs, metrics, and traces into your AWS environment is really, really easy. And one of the clearest ways to do this in Coralogix is with custom actions. Now, custom actions are, the example we're going to use is for logs, but they can be around data maps and other things as well. So I'm going to cover a few things that I've done to process this data and make it ready for a custom action. So the first thing I've done is I've created a parsing rule. Let's quickly explore that parsing rule just so we understand exactly what we're getting. Now I have a code pipeline instance, and what I've done is I've taken the logs from my code pipeline and I've pushed it into Firehose, and it's arrived at Coralogix. And if I open up my parsing rule here, I have a parse type of a parsing rule. Now, if you're not familiar with parsing rules in Coralogix, Getting to Know Coralogix course has the full parsing rules, every single type in there, so you should definitely use that. Now, let's have a look. So SSM agent parsing, there is a log line in the application. There's a log line that's printed out by the code pipeline step. And if we look in here, we can see that it looks a bit like this here. Now this is important because it contains the ID of the code build run, which is really useful because we can use that as part of our custom action. So you can see here that what I do is I kind of get rid of everything else and I pull out this build ID. And what this does is it transforms a log that looked like that SSM log, and it turns it into this, a log that just says build ID. And that's kind of useful for obvious reasons. Now, custom actions. Now we have a field that contains the important value. We can go to manage actions and we have this code build step action. And I've basically, the really common way that people do this, you take the URL you're interested in, so you can't see it here. I just move the window down a touch. You can see right there the URL that we're interested in. Now, the ID is contained here. This B93912F7 value is the same here, B93912F7. So what I can do is you can lift that URL, go back to your logs and paste that in, scroll a bit to the right, and you can see that I'm using $d.buildID. Now I'll just get rid of this so you can see how cool this is. So what you can do is you can actually interpolate values. So $d.buildID. And what that's going to do is it's going to set me up there. So I save the action. And now when I find that log again, so you have to find a log that contains the value, but you don't actually have to click on the value as long as the value exists in the log. And I click code build step. And what it does is it automatically takes me to that code build step. Now think about how you could extend this. EC2 instances, databases, load balancers, WAF configurations, and much, much, much more. This is just a really simple thing that you can do, but it just shows how versatile Coralogix is and how beautifully and seamlessly it integrates with Coralogix, not just in a data transfer way, but also in a usability way, minimizing context switching and maximizing your insight generation.